Yes,
Yo,
sir.
real quick before we start, I got a gripe to pick with you, Mr. Captain Cali Mac.
What did I do?
Over
Oh my
here,
gosh.
over here. Oh, you know what you did, good sir. You know what you did, good sir.
俺はルフィ海賊王になる男だ
What is going on, guys? It is your boy Kelly Mac on the track. Never whack, bring it back, and we are back with Try Sit Down, episode 79.
Let's go.
Yes. Big shout out to everybody listening on YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe over there. We are close to 200 subscribers. So if you guys can go ahead and click that little subscribe button right underneath the video, and also comment, like, share every video you see. It would be greatly appreciated, guys. Much love, much love. Here with the crew. What's up, gang? Here with the crew, man.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. We back. Straight out in the building. What's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man. This chapter was pretty hyped. I'm looking forward to chopping it up with y'all about, what this chapter had to offer, because man, it was exciting.
Definitely pretty peak. A lot of interesting moments we gotta break down for sure. Mr. G in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's good, everybody? Yo, shout outs to my wife. Her birthday's on Tuesday, so happy early birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Hey.
Yes.
And also, yo, shout outs to fucking the One Piece anime, because they killed it with the last episode. I don't know if you guys got to watch. That shit was beautiful. The end, the fight between Kaido and Luffy
Actually,
is
just
over.
watched it this morning. Yeah.
Bro, yo, you know what's crazy? Crunchyroll, the subtitles was not working on anything aside from like PC and phone.
Yeah,
I was bugging, bro.
I was trying to watch on my PS4 last night, and I just had no subtitles. I was like, what the fuck? I had to wait
Bro.
till this morning.
But like they enhanced everything. Like Kaido's backstory, I thought it was enhanced very well. And then the ending montage where we see the mom and the baby crying, and the noose, and like Wano, just dying, and like the liberate. It was beautiful, man. Like shout out to that whole team. It was beautiful.
They did a really, really nice scene that I think I might be my first One Piece tattoo. It was a really nice scene, and like I looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, I'll show you guys after the pod. But they did this one scene. It was right after he punched Kaido. They extended that moment really nicely, because in the manga he punches him. He says his thing and he like falls to the ground. Yeah, right?
Yep.
But in the anime, they extend it more. He's laughing. He's like, yes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I already know.
There's this one scene where they have the lanterns flying up, and they just light up behind Luffy as he's just smiling after he's beating Kaido, bro. It looks so beautiful, man. Oof. Absolutely beautiful scene. I'll show you guys after so you can see, but I think that's going to be my first One Piece tat.
Oh, bro. Shit, yo, you let me know. My girl does crazy One Piece tattoos.
Oh, say less. We in there. But, the One Piece anime was definitely dope. Make sure you guys check it out if you haven't already. No D3 today. He had to handle some business. You got to do what you got to do. Top of the pick is holding it down, so it's all good. Feel me? Wishing him hopefully he comes back soon. Last but not least, that boy YHuss in the building. What is going on, brother?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Feeling blessed. Actually, no shout out. I'm just hyped for the chapter, man. It was a crazy one, like Mod said.
That's simple.
The one thing I will say is that I think you have to realize what's happening in this chapter. These chapters are so crazy. The final saga is so crazy, man.
It is. It's just straight.
I'll get into that later.
It's straight peak. So we got a chapter this week. We're gonna do our chapter review as usual. I'm gonna go over it. We're gonna break it down, discuss it. Stand the third like we always do. You guys good? We ready?
Yo, real quick before we start, I got a gripe to pick with you, Mr. Captain Cali Mac.
What did I do?
Over here. Oh, you know what you did, good sir. My man, he tweeted out this video, this crazy looking fruit. He quote tweets it. And says, it's not tweet anymore. Quote, whatever.
Yeah, quote.
You take a bite of this and your swimming days are over. My man hit over 12.4 thousand likes on that post and over 1,000 retweets. And he didn't do it on the account. That's my gripe to pick with you, Cali, man.
To be fair,
every time I touch the damn Twitter, it's like anti. It's like you lose a follower. So, I'm just done, bro. I'm just done. So, Callie, please.
To be fair,
The magic, bro.
to be fair, I definitely do got you in the future for sure. 'Cause I definitely realized after I could have posted it on the account. But to be fair, I am that nigga. So part of it was because it was on my account. You feel me? I'm gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what it is. What it is, you know what I
I
mean?
can't lie, bro got the Twitter bangers. I have to say.
You feel
I have
me?
to say. Callie has the Twitter bangers, so.
Dude, this is the second time, Callie, that you tweeted something One Piece related.
No, I do gotta get on the strike.
Oh,
We gotta make the bro sign a contract, bro. Any One Piece tweets gotta be on the sit down.
Yo, we have to, bro. We're gonna have to, bro. I've been watching Suits on Netflix, bro. I know the legal terms now, bro. Shit.
You can write one up for us, bro.
Oh man.
All right, chapter. We good? Y'all ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's get into it. Chapter 1092, Kuma, the Tyrant's Holy Land Rampage. Two things before we get into the chapter. One, I love this cover art.
Me
Cover
too.
art made me smile. Like, and the cover arts for the past like 10-15 chapters, there's been reader requests, and there's been kind of whatever. You know, but some of them, they're just like, this is adorable, man. Like, come on, look at these fish, bro. Like, this is adorable.
Yeah.
I
think this is cool.
Yeah, I was definitely smiling when I saw this cover page. Secondly, the title. Real quick, something was pointed out to me on Twitter. Where there was a chapter in... Oh, let me get it. But there was a chapter in Sabaody where Luffy is, I guess, reflecting on all the foes that he's fighting in the chapter, which includes Kizaru, Sentomaru, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sentomaru and Kuma. He's reflecting on these three people in that order: Kizaru, Sentomaru, and Kuma. He's reflecting on these three people, and he's like, I need to get stronger than them.
I think that was Amazon Lily, but yeah, I know. I remember the exact moment.
Was it Amazon Lily?
Yeah. I think it was. I think it was Amazon Lily. He's like.
Was he like reminiscing about Sabaody at the time? Was that what it was?
The panel, it looks like he's reflecting on
what happened.
The three. Okay, I got it right here. I'm gonna pull it up for you
Because Kuma would be right out. Because he would have to reminisce about Kuma after Kuma, right? So after Kuma, he was in Amazon Lily.
Yeah. Right.
No, you're right. Yeah, so.
I'm gonna get stronger. Yeah, this is definitely Amazon Lily. Yeah.
You're right. So it is Amazon Lily. You're right. So he's reflecting on Sabaody, on Kizaru, Sentomaru, and Kuma in that order, and saying, I'm going to get stronger than all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me put it on the screen so you guys can see. Now, the last 3 chapters of the One Piece have been titled Kizaru, Sentomaru, and Kuma.
And then Kuma, yeah.
Wow.
So people are speculating that 1093 could be a Luffy chapter because Luffy is the 4th image in this panel.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that'd be crazy.
And Kizaru ass flipping inbound?
That's what the speculations are right now. That's what I've heard. So I wanted to bring that up with y'all because it might happen. And I think it would be real sick. It'd be a real sick way to bring Luffy in as the new emperor.
Yeah.
Yes, that's actually would be perfect based off of how this chapter ends. But yeah,
no, absolutely, especially considering how this ends.
I'm going with that. That's sick. I love One Piece fans. It's fucking psychotic.
Yeah, like how do you see this shit? Like that's so crazy. I gotta respect it.
I have to believe that One Piece fans are always constantly going back into the chapters or whatever, so stuff is fresh in their minds when stuff like this happens, or because there's so many One Piece fans, there's always someone going back, and they're like, hey y'all, look at this, and then like, oh shit, you're right. I love the One Piece community.
You love to see it. All right, let's get into the chapter review. Chapter 1092, Kuma, the Tyrant's Holy Land Rampage. We start the chapter atop Mary Joie. Kuma has finally reached the top. All the soldiers are trying to restrain him, but he is just proving to be too big of a threat. He activates his Ursa Shock, his Paw Fruit, and just completely devastates a large portion of the area. And then to greet him, standing there, is none other than Fleet Admiral Sakazuki.
I don't know why, but I should have, but I didn't expect this. I saw Akainu, I was like, no fucking way. But like, this is literally his job. Like, so
It definitely
it's
took me.
crazy.
Yeah.
Has it ever been confirmed? Do we know where he stays? Like where his base is? Base of operations?
New
is?
Marineford, which is like on the other side of the red line, which is basically right beside Mauricio.
Okay, right, because it's right there. Yeah.
And we see him like walking to the Gorosei's room all the time post time skip.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
So it has to be walking distance. So yeah.
Crazy.
So invading there really means to get Admiral at your doorstep. Like, not any. It's just crazy that, like, you know. Wait, where are the other admirals again? They're dispersed, right?
Green Bull.
I don't know if we know what those two are doing.
No, you're right. Because it's been. I was gonna say it's been a minute since Wano though, so we don't know where they're at. Yeah.
Because the last we saw them was the flashback for Reverie. Green Bull was running away from Shanks and Wano, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what Fujitora was doing.
After the referee, right?
Yeah. And all we know is obviously Kizaru is on Egghead.
Yeah.
So that means necessarily, if there's no admirals around, you are guaranteed to run across Akainu.
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah.
He would be the last line of defense right now, right? Because they're so spread out. They're spread out so thin for the Celestial Dragons. So.
And I think the next page kind of shows us how much he's entrenched with the Celestial Dragons, because of how informally they talk to him, and how much it's like, Akainu, what's going on, bro? You know, you're supposed to be doing this and this. So yeah, I think he's really he be in here like making their lives better and shit.
And you know, it's actually really interesting to see that. I'll go to the next page because we do see how the Celestials speak to Sakazuki, and it's like it's almost like ordering.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Like he's underneath them. And this when I saw this page, it made me go back to thinking about Garp and why he turned down the Fleet Admiral position numerous times.
Yep.
Because of exactly the situation where you have these Celestial Dragons talking you crazy.
Actually, the best way to describe it.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. It's
bro,
really
saying
crazy.
these soldiers are worthless, like crazy talk, bro.
Yeah. No. So the Celestial Dragons are just going off on Akainu, talking about they ordered the lobster and that they were out. Like what?
That got me messed up, bro. I was like, yo,
raging giant destroying your home, and you're worried that you couldn't get lobster last night. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, some dissociative shit.
Yeah,
like,
the warped worldview they have is crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, Akainu actually plays this really interestingly because he doesn't even play into anything they're saying. He's strictly focused on Kuma.
I actually gained a little respect from him after this.
Yeah.
Like interaction, I was like, damn.
Yeah, actually, no, I lied. I never respect this nigga, but I respect.
I was gonna say like never, but I do think like we do see like a little more. He's almost being compassionate towards Kuma and like in his thoughts and his words a little bit. Yeah. Not his actions though.
Yeah, interesting to see this history, this Kuma history.
One thing I did find interesting was pretty cool was the fact that, like you said, Callie, they're not worried about the destruction going on. They're more worried about Mary Joa's food supply, which we found out what happened in the flashback with Reverie. That's one thing that they had attacked.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like now,
so they're still feeling the effects of.
Yes. So you see that pressure that the revolutionary put is being put in real time right now.
And we know that on some military tactic shit, they're also like choking out like supply lines towards Marijima.
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot going on.
And that causes bubbling in the hierarchy, right? Because now the people that are trying to give you orders are like, what's going on? They're trying to find out. Because normally they're not worried about this shit, right? They're just going about their day, whatever. But now they're worried about it because they're not getting the usual luxuries. And now there's more pressure on Akainu. There's more pressure on the Gorosei. And like shit's really about to pop off soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree, 100%.
Yes, sir.
So Akainu says he tells Kuma, if he can't control you, you gotta go. Plain and simple. He hits him with a Hellhound, magma punch, just kind of smokes half of Kuma's face.
Yep.
That was hard to read, bro.
Yeah, no, it was rough, and he knows that he still bleeds like a man as well. I don't know if this is if that's of any value. Because he's supposed to be like completely robot now.
That's what we've been told. So to me, it seems like his transformation was never fully completed.
Yeah,
right?
the more I go into this, it definitely seems a lot like this is like a fail-safe operation within Kuma or something
right?
like
Because
that.
like him watching the Thousand Sunny for 2 years, you know, and then after that he pretty much went to become a slave pretty much for the Celestial, the dragons, and like so I feel like he never like they kept saying that he was fully cyborg, but he never fully like was done, and that's why he still has something going on.
Yeah, go ahead.
By the way, just real quick, I wanted to get y'all opinion of something. So, do y'all think this time around, with Hellhound being back the way it is, and you know, Akainu the headhunter, do y'all think that they're going to censor it this time in the anime?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Because they censored it for Blackbeard. Because this is the second time he does it, right? This is
Whitebeard, yeah.
Whitebeard. My bad.
Done what?
Take half someone's face off.
Oh, because you didn't read.
Right.
Yeah, you didn't read it.
No, I've seen the panel though. No, I've seen it though.
Okay.
Yeah, they took off his mustache, his mustache instead.
Yeah, but in the manga, you lose. He's like a chunk of his head is going. Yeah, no, you're
right.
They put Wilma just on the basis of like.
It's still kids, so.
Yeah, it's like supposed to be on a TV network, right? So. They might, or maybe if they want to maybe be more realistic, they might just not show that side of his face in like paneling. You know what I mean, like in the camera work. But yeah, I assume they're gonna censor.
Yo, it's crazy to think that the live action it has more gore than the anime. That's actually crazy.
It is.
A shell shot. Yeah. So Akainu takes off half his face, burns his leg. And I think from here he uses his all-pour fruit to disappear or move.
Teleport.
Yeah, teleport. Yeah, who knows where he's going now. Sakazuki has a flashback after this of holding Bonnie hostage or capturing Bonnie. When was Bonnie captured?
This was
you mud. Oh, this was with the Blackbeard Pirates, if I'm not mistaken.
This is it's right after Marineford.
So he didn't actually, so he didn't. I don't remember, but he didn't necessarily capture her, right? It was Blackbeard that captured her.
No, correct. Yeah, so Blackbeard left her there.
Yeah, but how we got here was that after Marineford, we see all this supernova, and Bonnie's crying, and she's like, "We don't know what she's talking about." She says, "This all happened because of him." And then we see them all do something in the New World. So I think we see Drake try to find Kaido or some shit like that. And Bonnie goes after Blackbeard. And we see that Blackbeard had her tied up. And he wanted to make a trade for a ship with the Marines. But then the Marines brought Akainu on board. And there's a scene where the Black Pirates are like, "Oh, fuck, it's Akainu. We got to get out of here." Yeah. And they're not going to give us that ship. And then, that's... So we literally... This is exactly where it leaves off with Akainu looking at Bonnie.
Okay. So he did... And then later on, I guess they took Bonnie, and then I guess she escaped from the...
Yeah, I remember her escaping from the Marines' clutches.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the timeline. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sakazuki tells Bonnie that Kuma's mind is gone. She cries that he would never do that and never leave her behind. Really sad scene, actually. It
is.
Bonnie's story is getting pretty tragic. I can't lie. And then we're back in the present, and he tries to figure out where a mere puppet with no mind or will left would possibly go. I think that's it for Marine. That's it for the Marine section.
On that note of what Akainu said, a lot of people, I've noticed it. I haven't been reading the like chapter discussions on like Reddit for example, the last few chapters, but I read it for this one. And I also saw this at the end of Morge's chapter review because he has a section where like his fans like might have a say. So in that section and in the comments, a lot of people were saying that his lines here about no mind, no will left, and losing your free will, a mere puppet. Mm-hmm. A lot of people think Oda is using this scene and this from here to the beginning of the chapter. It's actually Akainu talking about himself in regards to how he has to follow the orders of the Celestial Dragons, and that even if he doesn't fuck with them, and they might be like self like hedonistic people, self-pleasuring people, that he still has to follow their orders and protect them no matter what, even though he doesn't respect them at all. So yeah, people think that this line is kind of like Akainu talking a little bit about himself and Kuma at the same time.
That's really cool. I think that's a
little
really
self-reflection.
cool.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool analyzation. I really
like
love. I love hearing about the literary elements of a story. Like that shit is
Agreed,
just
bro.
so cool to me, man. I can't lie. That's sick. That's definitely a sick way to interpret it.
It is, and also, I know we don't come back to this again later this chapter. So there's been talk about how the past couple of chapters we've been getting the OG admirals and their backstories a little bit. Backstories, yes, but for Akainu, I wouldn't consider this a backstory. Just
Definitely.
a continuation of events that we didn't get to see. But regardless, we getting sentimental moments like Akainu. I mean, not Okiji.
Kizaru. Oh yeah.
That and then Kizaru with Sentomaru,
That's
where
true.
both portray a student element, where Aokiji was student, Kizaru was master. Here, though, because of how this is set up, and people are saying that there's a little bit of sympathy and stuff, and kind of like YHuss pointed out. Do y'all think that Akainu and Kuma have some type of special relationship that we're not aware of yet? That's
Possible.
I can actually give a little bit of like a, because there's already an idea that people have because of how Akainu in Marineford was like so doggedly trying to kill Luffy and saying like, yo, like the line of the criminal dragon has to be put to an end or some shit. And some people think that like that kind of indicates that it's like he had like a special sort of hate towards Dragon, and that he and Dragon might have some sort of history, which would make a lot of sense actually. So if him and Dragon might have some history, like it's not far-fetched to assume that they're someone who's part of Dragon's on Revolutionary Army. Kuma might have some backstory with Akainu. But I think it's
a leader,
possible.
right? Like he's a commander. He's not just a random.
It feels more like Kuma, or he would have more of a relationship by proxy than like an actual relationship between Kuma and Akainu. I think it's just the groups that they both are associated with.
Okay.
And because Akainu knows about Vegapunk and what he's done to Kuma, there might have been like communication between the Marines and Vegapunk about the Kuma situation. I think it's a lot more by proxy than like an actual relationship between the two, but it's definitely possible.
I agree, and I would say that if I hadn't heard that Dragon and Akainu got that idea because of his actions in Marineford, that if I didn't think that there was already a sentiment that Dragon and Akainu had some history, I probably wouldn't think Kuma and Akainu had some direct history. So yeah, I don't see it based on this chapter alone, but it's not a bad idea. And yeah, I agree with Callie. It might be like a byproduct of like other relationships.
The only reason I don't know is because I feel like when I first met Akainu, like I feel like he would have smoked Bonnie. I don't know, because he was just on to kill all the pirates type of shit, So, but it is a good idea. One thing I noticed before we go to the next page, one thing I noticed was again how the Celestial Dragons talk to Akainu at the end. Hey, where did Kuma go? And then like, you let him escape, some fleet admiral you are. Like, just like really getting into him for letting Kuma go and stuff like that. Like, goes to show you that
he wasn't going all out.
Yeah,
right?
There's that, and also like they obviously have no respect for him, for Akainu, and I do like that how he just ignores them and he's just wondering where he's going. If Kuma's a puppet of what he used to be, where exactly is he going? So,
right.
No, you know what? Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Me?
Mod, yeah, because you were about to start.
Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna just real quick. I was just gonna ask. Does anyone know off rip what Bonnie's bounty was? Because there's something I kind of thought about
in Sabaody.
Yeah, I guess so, because we don't know if her bounty changed necessarily.
I don't know if we got an updated one, but I'll
what was her last?
It did. So her last bounty was like, her bounty right now, like out to like the last we know, is 320 million, and in Sabaody it was 140 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so either way, it was over 100. So
Yeah.
I do remember. I don't remember who said this or at what point, but I do remember at some point someone said usually pirates with what they say over 100 million are like worthy of like being executed or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken. So it kind of reminds me of what Mista talked about when he said like, you know, Akainu was on his like bloodlust on pirates and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
And here he is, someone of the worst generation, tied up, and you know, all he did was like bring her
in. That's what I was gonna say anyway when I started talking. Like, I actually really like that point. Someone who wants to kill all pirates to be so lenient could definitely hint at a relationship.
Some type of exactly. Yeah.
I actually do agree with that a lot. That might have changed my stance a little bit.
Because he's like from just the cutscene, like the flashback that they showed you, like he's talking about Kuma to her, right? Like, so obviously he knew who they are to each other. I mean, because like we had no idea.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Too. Like, because Bonnie being Kuma's daughter isn't like a known fact.
A
Like,
well-known thing. Exactly.
surprised.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it gives credence to what you were saying. That that's why Akainu didn't just smoke this dude, like straight out.
Yeah, or her, both of them.
Yeah. No, it's definitely fair. Definitely fair. We're gonna need some more information, but I don't think it's a bad theory to draw on.
No, I just will say that we're getting 3 admirals like in almost back-to-back chapters, like you know, Pirate Island, Egghead here, like admirals fighting for the first time since fucking Marineford. Like these guys, not respectfully, not Fujitora and the other motherfucker. Like, so I think this is monumental, man. We're really in the final fucking saga. It's crazy. And also,
you can see it.
Not to mention, like what Mon's saying, like some of their backgrounds, like Kizaru and Yokiji, and you know, a lot of characterization for all of them. It's really like Oda was holding back, bro. Like he was holding it all back. It's crazy.
It was the build up. The build up was worth it. Like, you know, you get pre-time skip. You know what's funny? I always looked at the admirals as like, you know, in video games where it's like you're playing an RPG, right? And you get side bosses that you can optionally fight, but you are nowhere near their level. You had no business fighting them. But you can fight them. I looked at admirals kind of like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can see
like
that.
none of them are a part of the main goal to take down in the main story. But for some reason, like Luffy and others keep running into them, and the goal is to like get the fuck out of there. You know what I mean? He
triggered the side quest in Savodi by punching.
Like basically, he triggered the side boss. Now, now get out of either fight them and die or get out of there. Like
we did not have to do this right now. Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, like they would be like the final, you know, like one of the final bosses, but you could fight them early. They're just way too.
Like
you gotta be enough of a criminal.
Yeah.
It's not a bad comparison. Yeah.
So, I wanted to ask you guys: do you guys think we'll get something similar for the other 2 admirals, Green Bull and Fujitora?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably lesser so, but yeah, I definitely think so. Yeah, maybe not Green Bull. Green Bull seems like a bootlicking ass nigga, but
Agreed.
Fujitora definitely seems like he has a deeper.
Oh no, definitely. My guy took out his own eyes, bro, because it's injustice.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Oda made him so like one-dimensionally, cartoonishly evil in the sense that it makes me think there's more to him.
Talking about a Green Bull?
Green Bull,
yeah. Because
even someone like Orochi got, you know, a little bit of depth with the crews and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you can't just end it on a blanket statement like, you know, oppression is important. You know, like there's no way. And that's just it. If that was just it, I would actually kind of be disappointed. Like, you know, you make this character that like because One Piece is known for its rich character development, rich characters, even with the villains and all that other stuff. That we just get this cartoonishly, like almost comically, like obviously evil dude, and it's just like, I mean, you could do it, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
I expect more from Oda,
I expect a little bit more. So I expect a backstory as to why he thinks like that. Not saying it will be justified by any stretch of the means, but I can at least see where
Where it's going.
how his
Where it
mind
came
got to this point.
That's fair. That's definitely fair.
Word.
Yeah.
That's definitely fair. All right, let's keep it pushing.
Yeah.
Keep going through the chapter.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes, baby. The good
Oh,
shit.
Sir,
yeah.
sir. So we're back on Egghead.
Woo!
The sea beasts are getting absolutely demolished by the pacifistas. Mark 5, I think that's what they are, right? Mark 3.
Yeah.
Mark
Mark
Mark 3, I think.
Mark 3, yeah.
Yeah. Also, random note is that like it's small, but I feel like it has to be noted that we went back a day back in time for that Akainu and Kuma part. We are now back to the present day because I get it 2 days, right? Yeah, it says it says it at the beginning of the chapter. It says like 1 day backwards. So that Kuma Akainu thing happened
Mary
the
Jo
night
the
before,
previous
the day
day.
before. Yeah.
Oh shit! So Kuma might actually be on his way to Egghead. Holy shit!
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh
Okay.
shit! That's crazy.
Wait, didn't you guys say that Mary Jo is at the top, the pinnacle, right?
Yeah,
Right,
when,
of, like,
when-
top
red-
of the red line,
right,
yeah.
no, right,
The
so
red line?
When we were at Kamabaka, whatever the island, the revolutionary island, we were there, and Kuma disappeared from them. We were like, oh, he's headed to Bonnie, and then we were like, oh wait, the red line's
he's
in the
too far
way.
away.
He can't get there because the red line's in the way. But now he's
Fucking
climbed
climb
the red
that
line,
shit, bro.
got to Mary Joie, and now he's over it. Now he can, so it's. I would say it's a pretty high chance he's going to Egghead right now.
Yeah. And if it's
pretty
a
high
day
chance.
ago, if that was a day ago, remember we know somewhat of Kuma's abilities for teleport, right?
Yeah.
Transporting people. So right, it took Luffy like what 48 hours to get from Sabaody to Amazon Lily or some shit like that. Like, so it's definitely, damn, he's coming,
You
bro.
guys think he's off Rinjo? You think he passed the Holy Line already? Like he was not aiming for that at all?
Yeah, no, I would agree that I think his goal was to get over the way it looks like now. Because originally, when he first got to the red line, I thought his goal was something at Mary Joie. I completely dismissed the idea of him continuing to Egghead.
No,
I remember saying the same thing.
That would be too easy, right? Like we thought it would be too easy. Like, it's his daughter's in. Like he senses his daughter in danger. He's gonna go save her.
Wait, I'm confused about something. What was the reason he couldn't like traverse again? Why was the red line blocking him?
It's a big wall, and
But his how? Wait. Yeah, am I missing something about Kuma's powers? I thought he could just go wherever
he climbed it though. Like
He
no,
did.
he has to. Well, the thing we were talking about is that he doesn't just teleport. He has to like fly there, right? That's what his ability does. It like sends people flying.
yeah.
Or repels them. So people are like, so then when he got to the red line, they're like, okay, he has to climb it, and then he's gonna use his ability to keep going, because he couldn't just like fly through the red line. He has to go above it. But then that obviously begs the question why he didn't just fly upwards. But
right,
no comment.
I'm about to say like I'm confused here.
He climbed
like,
anyway, so clearly he couldn't for some reason. That's all I'll say.
Wait,
But
that's assuming that's the goal though, right?
The red line
Like-
is the biggest mountain in the world.
It's
as well,
super
right?
high. It is super high. Yeah.
Could
What-
that not be a factor?
I mean, we don't know how Kuma's powers necessarily work, right? I mean,
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
could make the argument both. You can make the argument either way, then, to be honest.
but
Either way, I agree with you, but either way, he climbed at least part of it for some
But
reason.
not just that though. What gets me though is that like he climbed the part that's filled with civilians. That's right. Mary Jo is right up top. I feel like he was also sending a message, but that's just me like
yeah, I'm about to say I feel
three
like
piecing
this
it right now.
No,
Like,
I don't think it's two-piece. There's a lot. There's a lot about climbing the red line.
But what would the reason be? What would the message be? I don't see any character motivation, especially considering he's like 99%
robot, right?
machine right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think whatever his goal is single-minded. You know what I mean? It's his one thing he has left, and he's trying to do it. Whatever his goal is.
But my thing is, okay, well, first of all, there is like something we could point back to just similar that's happening, right? Like, you know, climbing the red line is no like regular. If 2 points to that, one, Kuma did the same thing that the other robot 200 years ago from the Boy Century did. So it was 200 years, and they're both robots. Now, obviously, I don't know if the robot from 200 years ago has sentience or not. We can talk about that later. But, you know, Kuma some sort of sentience, a little, or some type of like programming or whatever. But there's that correlation, and both of those are considered remarkable events like this we're talking about. And that goes to the second point. You know, if that's how Kuma's powers work, it's hard for me to imagine that every single time he needs to get to the new world, he's climbing the red line all the time. Like, to do that.
Yeah.
I just find that hard to believe.
I agree with you, Mod, but all I'm saying is that, like, even though I agree with you, he should just fucking teleport it upwards and past it. We watched him climb a lot of it. So, like, for some reason he chose not to or couldn't.
Unless he's just on some basic programming, bro.
Yeah. Or unless the climbing of it mattered.
Yeah.
Like Callie said, we don't have a real distinctive reason as to why Kuma himself would do it, but we have obviously examples of the Iron Giant, like the Iron Giant doing it. Like Mod said 200 years ago. Like, I definitely think that we can't say why, but I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, he did it. He climbed that shit for some reason.
Yeah, he did, and I think there was a reason too. From what I remember, and what I thought the story was saying is that individuals climbing the red line is considered a remarkable.
I agree with you. I definitely think it's something to be noted.
Yeah, it's not like something to be done. In which case, like, you know, Kuma climbing the red line has to because of power blockage, or the dude that is like messing with his powers. I don't know. I feel like the story wouldn't be such a big deal about it. It has.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm treating this like a remarkable event. Like, okay, this is not normal. Like, you know, Fisher Tiger climbed the red line. That was considered, you know, abnormal. The Iron Giant doing it 200 years ago, abnormal. Kuma doing it, abnormal.
Agreed.
Potentially Joy Boy or anything in between could be considered abnormal for most of the One Piece world. So, yeah.
And I do think that him climbing the red line is big, like you said. Also getting to marry Joa, he kind of he invaded, right, successfully, because he didn't attack them, but he went there to leave, to get away, to get to the other side. So I feel like this will cause, like we already said before, more pressure for Akainu with the Celestial, more turmoil and chaos within the world government and their communities. You know, like those Celestial Dragons, the Gorosei, and all that stuff. Because this is seen as a big blunder for them. They couldn't stop Kuma from doing whatever he was there for, but he still got there and put pressure on the Celestial Dragons and everyone. And that, you know, will definitely throw a wrench into what's going on in that camp of, you know, One Piece.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, we really don't have an answer as to, like, it.
My headcanon is that the wall is just too damn high, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying.
The wall is just too high, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
That's what I said, because when he got there, he just slammed right into the wall, right? Like,
yeah,
like it just boom, and then like everyone started attacking him. But like, you know, but yeah, let's get.
We definitely don't have an answer, so we'll keep it pushing.
Keep it pushing.
Yeah. So back in Egghead, Mark III is destroying the sea beast. Marines are storming the island. Kizaru is already inside the lava phase, and we cut to a fight between Luffy and Admiral Kizaru. Kizaru remarks he can see how he defeated Kaido, and then he asks why he's protecting Vegapunk, which Luffy replies, "Why do you want to kill Vegapunk?" Or the Apple Man, in Luffy's words.
Yep.
Trading blows. The match seems pretty even between the two at this moment in time.
You know, people are like, just side note, people are scaling this moment.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't care, bro. I don't want to hear that.
That's the realest shit I ever heard in my life.
Luffy's scared for Cobra Man is not doing anything to Kizaru right now.
That shit, bro. Fuck that. Okay, yeah. So Kizaru breaks away from the clashes, flies into the sky. He says that he doesn't want to kill Vegapunk, and that he's known Vegapunk for a long time, so he would appreciate Luffy staying out of this. I thought this was really interesting. At this point in the chapter, I almost made it seem like he wasn't going to kill Vegapunk, and he had like an ulterior motive, which he still could. But that's what my thoughts when I read this specific portion of it. He goes into his light form. He says acceleration is power, and speeds from the sky straight into Luffy with a supersonic light kick that sends him crashing, flying through the robot.
Yep.
The Vega
Force One.
And it completely rips it in half.
Yep.
We get a little flashback of what I'm assuming is Vegapunk telling Kizaru about the Vega Force One. a giant robot, the dream of mankind.
Before that, Kizaru kicked Luffy away, right?
Yes, he kicked him, and then he kicked him through the robot.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Luffy got sent flying.
Yeah, so that's Luffy right
here.
Yeah.
Yo, good pickup, bro. I didn't even realize that. That's crazy. Okay.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, that's him flying through the robot. Yeah, he got sent.
Oh shit.
And people are talking about how the Vega Force One is established as the giant robot mankind's always dreamed of. Kizaru destroyed it, and so that's like Kizaru symbolically crushing Vegapunk's dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. So the next page, we see Luffy flying into the labosphere and exploding because of the defense mechanisms. People crying for Luffy. They're all flying not all, but Frankie, Bonnie, Lilith, the three that were on the ship with the Vega Force One, they go flying to the ground. The Sunny lands as well. Lilith tells Frankie and Bonnie to run because the Vega Force is about to explode, which it does. Frankie checks on the Sunny. Lilith mourns over the robot, and then Bonnie gets up to Kizaru, right in his face. Kizaru comments on how much Bonnie has grown, and how much, and comments confused on why Bonnie doesn't still hate Vegapunk, because that's how she felt the last time. He says there's an assassination on her in his head now, and that the situation has changed, and that she has a new target for her wrath, and she then lunges at Kizaru. This attack confused me. I don't know what was going on here.
I think she did. It's the one I think she did to Vegapunk, turn him into a kid. Like it was her. Like she just uses some sort of object to attack, and she either ages you up or ages you down or some shit.
Yeah.
She tried to swing at him with this pipe thing, whatever the fuck. It looks like a destroyed part from the Vega Force robot.
Yeah.
See, this is another. Oh man.
Yeah. So Kizaru says an interesting line here. This line is different than in the unofficial. He says, "I'd rather not hurt any acquaintances outside of my mission parameters." And then
I like that. I like this line way more because to me the other line was like really suggestive of him being friends with either Bonnie or Kuma. Probably, like obviously he was talking to Bonnie, but for me, I didn't ever get that. Like Bonnie never talked about Kizaru. It was more so Kizaru, Vegapunk, Sentamaru. So yeah, I think this is like because the other one was really suggestive, and I was like, what the fuck? Where did this come from? Even though I wouldn't be surprised because obviously they would have all been around the lab or whatever. But yeah, this one is more so like I kind of know you. I don't want to have to hurt you.
That's fair. Yeah, right. This definitely adds a little bit more depth between the relationship. Yeah, so Kizaru kicks Bonnie into the labosphere. She also gets exploded by the defense mechanisms. So now it's just Frankie and Lilith.
The line that changed actually was Frankie's. In the TCB, after this, he says, I don't know about the OP scans, I'm assuming it was the same, but in the TCB, he says, wait, behind you. But Kizaru had already started kicking her, like by this point, by two panels ago, actually. So a lot of people, I thought this is the point of this page, but the official really changed it. I thought the point of the page in TCB was that Kizaru was so fast that Frankie was reacting late. I thought that was the point. I thought that was really interesting because reading it like that, when Frankie says, wait, behind you, when she's already flying, that feels weird to read.
I could definitely see that being the case. Yeah,
I thought it really was.
Like that's not the official, so yeah.
Well, it's not the official, so I'm not gonna go with that. But yeah, that's the line that changed. I gotta read the OP scans to see what they did with it.
That's interesting. Okay.
It's not. It
wasn't OP scans. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not like the official hasn't gotten stuff wrong before. Cough Mother Flame.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that was the whole thing.
Let me see. I think I still have the OP scans. I could look at it real quick.
I'll keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Frankie goes to blick Kizaru down with the ultralight beam, but Kizaru's already disappeared. Frankie quickly realizes that he's after the Stella and radios in to the guys inside of the labosphere room or whatever. He checks in with them. As soon as he checks in with them, they crack the code and they've figured out how to lower the barrier so that they can get out. They go in to check in Frankie and let him know that they've lowered the barrier and if they can execute the plan. And before Frankie can even let them know what has happened, Kizaru is in the room with them. He says, your escape plan is a failure, Vegapunk. I've blown your so-called giant robot of dreams to smithereens. Before I go on, I just want to say that sometimes I really hate Otis paneling because I got to this last page and then this shit is just smack in my face. Like this, I couldn't even let the tension build for a second because I'm like, oh, there it is, right there in front of my face. But yeah, so Kizaru's in the room with them. He's right in front of the Stella's face. He says that this is very difficult for me. Please don't make this hard. I don't want to draw it out. But then immediately after he says this, something else draws Stella's attention. A giant Gear 5 Luffy breaks through the ceiling and just snatches up Kizaru in a fist. Everybody's looked on in shock. This line is funny. This is what he said in the OP scans. He says, "Ooh, that was a bit spicy."
Yeah.
Kizaru exclaims, "There it is. So this is the thing you do." Luffy says, "Thanks for knocking me all the way back down. Almost thought I was gonna die going through that barrier twice." And then we cut away to the basement of the island where we saw the original robot. What was the name of it again?
We don't. I
think it had a name. Yeah, I don't know.
I thought it had a name. Okay, well, we saw the giant robot that Luffy and them co-found in the beginning of the arc. We see that again, only this time its eyes begin to glow red to end the chapter.
Crazy ending.
Crazy.
Very crazy
and
ending.
What's even better, no break next week.
No break next week indeed.
Out here.
All right, where do you guys want to go?
So 2 things I wanted to ask you guys. I know I asked one thing during the week in the group chat because my friend had brought it up, so I figured I'd bring it up in the chat. When Luffy said, when he says that almost thought I was going to die going through the barrier twice, I thought he meant physically the barrier. My friend took it as like him going into Gear 5 because he's just like, something's up with Luffy, obviously, because we know that Gear 5's taking Luffy's health some way or something like that. So, he was just like wondering what we thought it meant. It could be double meaning, but I thought he was going, him going through the barrier twice.
I definitely think it's the barrier because he has.
I don't see how anybody could get that. No, I don't want to disrespect your boy, but I don't see
how
anybody could get.
He overthinks a lot, so I understand what he means.
Also I think X has brought it up in chat because he had the Luffy going through the barrier twice. So he got pushed through it, and then he decided to go back through it, which I guess got him shot by lasers, which is why he's like, so burned up, unless he just got cooked by Kizaru's pick. But I think
that's why he's calling it spicy.
That's why he's saying it was spicy, or he said it burns in TCB. That's crazy. Also, I wonder what Bonnie's gonna do. How Bonnie's gonna take the lasers in the first place, because she got kicked into it. I think also
he did.
And I'm assuming she's gonna try to make it back, which is also, I didn't even think about the fact that Bonnie got relocated. So I wonder how that's gonna go.
True. Okay, so the second thing, back to the first thing. I did tell him this. I was like, I thought it was the barrier, and I was like, regarding with the thing with the Luffy dying, that's why I believe we still have law, right? The whole we know about laws. Devil fruit could make the immortality fruit. So I feel like if Luffy dies because of Gear 5 or something related to that, law would probably be the one to save him. But the next thing I want to bring up, we've seen Luffy go Gear 5 twice. Because at first, I was thinking, how did this robot activate, right?
Yes.
Was it because of Luffy going Gear 5? I don't think that was the case because he went Gear 5 before against Rob Lucci in the same area.
Yes.
So, because of what we were saying earlier, and it got me thinking, Kuma was a day ago. What if Kuma's inside the robot? Because he's still robotic or some shit like that, and what if he's activating it or some shit like that? I don't know. It was just an idea. I don't know
if I'm married to that idea specifically, but I could get down with the idea of Kuma being in the proximity, having something to do with the robot, because Vegapunk is the one that modified Kuma and knew of the existence of this robot and has been trying to work on a power source to get everything in motion. I can't put the pieces together, but I could see it somewhere a line of thinking where.
But you know what I'm saying?
And it somehow activates the robot. I don't know.
That's what I want to say.
I wouldn't say him specifically inside the robot, only because
that's fine.
If he comes to Egghead, I know he has to have a moment face to face with Bonnie.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say about the robot and the Kuma on like what he's doing in like on the red line or whatever. Because I also thought about that, like why did it turn on when Luffy's in Gear 5 now but not before? Although I definitely think the two are related. I think, but I'm not sure about this one because you guys are also bringing it up. I thought maybe like whatever Kuma did in the like Marie-Joie might have, I don't know, somehow affected the robot here. But also it was a day ago, so maybe Kuma is in the vicinity or something like that. But yeah, I thought that whatever Kuma did in the red line, maybe he activated something there that was left by the giant robot or whatever. Because I also thought about that, like why now and not before. But yeah, I have an idea about that. But Mod, you go ahead.
I just, I fully, absolutely believe that it was Luffy that woke up that robot. The fact that Oda put the drums of liberation, sound effect right by the robot.
I didn't even realize that.
It's too on the nose. And
that's very fair. I didn't notice that before either.
Yeah, so because of that, it has to be Luffy. Like, there's no other explanation. Now, I feel like we will get a reason as to why it didn't awaken before, but
I have an idea. I think it's because he's a giant.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
Yep. I think that's what it is too. I was just about to say that. I think it has something to do with Luffy's giant form. He's a giant. A lot of theories have speculated that Joy Boy was a giant. The giant Straw Hat, and Eden's Chambers, and all that other stuff. Also, it could be either has something related to the fact that Joy Boy was a giant, and so a giant Joy Boy heartbeat is what needed to awaken it, or it could be just how bombastic. Because remember with the Devil Fruit explanation that Vegapunk did, the Stella talked about when Luffy was in Gear 5 the first time, he said dreams is what basically powers the Devil Fruits and stuff like that, right? And so Luffy being giant is so bombastic of like a dream state that it's triggering the robot. That could be another theory.
I think that's fair. I definitely think that's fair because he hasn't gone giant yet, and we know that.
I like that.
We do know the nexus between giants and Joy Boy and
the panel before the robot is Luffy like on top of the lab and like it's showing how huge he is in comparison to it.
Yeah.
And then it goes right to the giant. So I definitely think that I think that's like the most likely answer for sure. I definitely agree. X-Test asks in chat, what do y'all think of Katarina Devon? Before we talked about how the barrier is going to be a problem for the Blackbeard Pirates to do what they want, but now it looks like the barrier is about to come down. So I think that opens up a lot of doors.
I think we might see a Katarina Devon versus Bonnie.
She might get knocked to where they are actually. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
That's definitely a possibility.
One thing I did like though was that this like Luffy getting like we know Kizaru speed of light. My guy got there dumb fast. Everyone was surprised. I'm surprised at how fast Luffy got there.
Yeah, true.
My guy went out of the barrier, through the barrier. Like it just goes to show you that Luffy got that speed too. Like and it's crazy. And then with the size too, like it's kind of OD. And especially after like when you guys watched, I know Callie watched it, but when you guys watched the Kaido versus Luffy, like he's using lightning. Like it's crazy what Gear 5 could do. Like I feel like the manga doesn't even show it enough. Like Gear 5 is ridiculous.
Yeah,
they definitely take a lot more. I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but they definitely do a lot more with the
liberties.
Liberties, yes, thank you. They definitely take a lot more liberties with the anime adaptation because they can. It's a different medium. They have the ability to do so. You know what I mean?
I mean, with all the different things Gear 5 can do, like running in the air, like cartoony style, like Sonic the Hedgehog with the spinning leg.
Yeah.
It is completely possible that he can like dip from one end to an area to another in a split second. But yeah, go ahead, Callie.
No, I wasn't gonna.
I thought you were gonna say something.
No, I said what I said.
I also have an idea, kind of, that what if, right? these giant robots, because I'm pretty sure there were more of them in the past or whatever. So Joy Boy might not have been the only giant. You know, it could have been a whole like clan. Hint, hint. Will of D. Hint, hint. But but if it's like a whole clan of like giants, and we know like there's a sufficient correlation between like the giants from back then, potentially Elbaf giants and other things of that nature. So what if these robots were created for the giants, and what we see either next chapter or the chapter after, that this robot is going to assist Luffy, and like Luffy can like morph into that giant robot or something like that, and more crazy stuff can even happen because of it. That that would be kind of cool. Do y'all think so?
I think I feel with that. I think like maybe you can control it in some way, order it around.
Yeah, I remember.
Go ahead.
I remember when we first saw the robot, we were saying that like, what if he like expands into it, because he could turn giant now, right? And it also goes back to what we saw in Thriller Bark with Oars, like Luffy's spirit. You know, I feel like there's something going on there that ties Luffy with the giants and stuff like that.
The giant's head like helmet thing, like the horns, like I feel like that's like the Viking kind of thing, and I think that's what the giants now wear, right? Like Viking armor and the helmets with the horns and shit. Yeah. So I definitely think that's like I don't know the exact word, but like a leftover from this time.
Remnant.
Yeah, like the giants using helmets that have horns and shit. It might be in like this thing's image or something like that. Yeah, there's a lot, man. There's a lot.
Didn't we also have Onigashima, right? There was a big ass.
There's a big like it looks like the horns of like something like you literally just said his name. Oars, like continent puller or whatever. Yeah,
so.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Bonnie's phrase when she's fighting Kizaru? Fighting is a strong word. When she says that there's because he tells her, he's like, yo, didn't Vegapunk fuck up your dad? Don't you want revenge? And she's like, my wrath has a new target now. Who do you guys think that's referring to?
Oof.
The government?
Probably, I agree.
Because, I mean, to be fair, I mean, Kizaru is right in front of her, so you take it with a grain of salt, but she does say that and then immediately try to attack Kizaru, so.
That's true. I was thinking more so Celestial Dragons, because I think, man, that backstory, bro. We need it, bro. We need it.
Yeah, because she saw something. She saw something there that. Do you guys think it's possible that Kuma has seen Imu? And maybe maybe Bonnie knows that Imu was the one truly behind everything.
If he did, I think Dragon would have known before Sabo had to tell
him.
What?
Yeah.
Because they're allies.
But what if it's recent though?
Yeah, I mean, it could have been recent, but I'm assuming that memory is from before.
That's true.
He took his brain.
Well, no, not necessarily though, because he was constantly going back to Vegapunk for upgrades because it was a process, right? It was little by little.
But after Marineford, we don't know if when he becomes a slave.
Yeah.
Actually, right after Marineford, he goes to protect the Strahd, and then he becomes a slave.
He becomes a slave after,
Yeah, so I think there's not much room for him to become to go back to Vegapunk, because the pacifists are getting upgrades, but not him. He's just a slave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no fucking idea, bro. There's too much happening.
I don't know.
I'm also
I do know that I'm kind of I don't know. It's hard for me to tell if Bonnie has hockey or not, because how she how this is. Like, I haven't seen a Logia phase like this in so long, since pre-time skip. The fact that it swung and it's facing through him, I mean,
this goes back to the argument we had earlier on whether or not, I think it was when he was fighting Sentinel, and we were arguing that he may have had future sight because he was reforming his body around the attacks like Katakuri did. So this could be more precedence to that argument.
Yeah, the wiki doesn't say if she has hockey or not, so Oda didn't tell us in an SBS something like that. Also, I just don't think she has the speed to hit this nigga. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, even without it, yeah, even with it, she I don't think she would either. But like, you know, you don't see no coding, and it could be that invisible hockey stuff. Like Oda just it's implied, but Oda's not right.
Yeah, I'm assuming she wouldn't try to hit him without hockey. Honestly, like you know better. Like you're in the new world. You know better than that. So yeah, she probably does. I wouldn't. She's 220 million, and she's a captain or whatever. Yeah.
I will. Let's hope. But
Also,
oh, go ahead, Mister.
also, I think remember how we were wondering if we know what Bonnie was a kid or an adult really, but Kizaru really confirms that even more. You know, with his comment, like, "Look at how big you are now, Bonnie. Kids these days grow so fast." So I do believe her true form is still a kid.
Well, she said kids these days grow so fast, so she could be older now, no?
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
he said that to her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm still mean like she's still on the younger side though. Like her.
Yeah,
her
I don't think she's a
thinking.
youth because we saw that picture of what's his name, Kuma holding her up as a kid too, and that was a while ago. I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, but we just don't know way too fucking much about these things. Anyway, but for the giant, I think we know it's not a coincidence that this like the Vega Force gets destroyed and the giant wakes up. So I don't really think they're gonna maybe Luffy might try to order it, but they're gonna use it to probably do the rest of their plan, like get the Sunny to the back of the island and escape or whatever. But yeah, I want to see what the giant can do too. I want to see like if it has abilities, special abilities, some shit. I hope it tells us more about the fucking great ancient kingdom and shit too, man. We need this chapter ASAP, bro.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're not on break this week. This is definitely a chapter that would have killed us to have to wait another week in between.
Man.
It would have been
no, for real.
The last thing I think we didn't bring up, I kind of even want to talk about it, is the fact that Luffy is still not using Advanced Conquerors. He used it at the end of last chapter, right? To kick Kizaru.
Well, even then, that's still kind of contentious for some people, honestly. And I ain't
gonna lie, y'all got this, bro. I'm not touching the subject, bro.
I'm kind of over it too, but it is true though.
It's not even an over it thing. It's just. I think I said this a few episodes ago. I've just from now on I'm taking the stance that if it's not explicitly stated, then I'm not making any inferences. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I've been on, because I do feel like it's been a lot of discourse.
No, it's been super inconsistent.
And it's literally just inconsistent. That's what it is. It's hard to tell when what is what and when what isn't.
I think here we can confidently say it's at least Advanced Conquerors isn't happening though, because there's literally no tells. Not even
Okay, so Callie, you can have that stance, and I completely respect it. But what YHuss is bringing up is the greater picture here. Am I assuming right? Because you said you watched Morge.
Yeah, he brought it up. Yeah, and I thought it's kind of fair to talk about it.
Yeah. So basically, what Morge talked about is what I think we touched on it. When Kobe did what he did, but essentially, we're at a point now where it's kind of hurting this. It feels like it's hurting the story to not get accurate tells on when Conqueror's Haki is being used or not, right?
That's fair.
Because Egghead Island this whole time, and I've been pushing this narrative that Luffy is not being taken seriously as an emperor and it would make sense because he's from he did what he did in Wano, an isolated country with very little information coming out of it. So, I could see the skepticism of people, when people are saying stuff like Rob Lucci holding that L and still saying I don't recognize him as an emperor, all that other stuff, right? A constant underestimation. And I said that it's when Luffy showcases his Conqueror's Haki coding that people will give him that respect, like, oh, you are like emperor level or at an emperor tier that will warrant us to believe that you took down Kaido or whatever, right? But this whole Egghead arc, we have not gotten a single bit of Conqueror's Haki, right? Or at least nothing on panel. Yeah, nothing definitive. And the times that where you would think it would happen has not happened, and the times where you may not care for it to happen, but it may happen anyway because it's a big battle, did not happen. So Luffy versus Rob Lucci, it did not happen. No one probably cared if it or not, because either way, people expected Luffy to like low diff Rob Lucci, which he did. And so it's whatever to that. But, you know, we had Luffy and Zoro versus the Seraphim. And now that one was a very weird fight because literally both of them, both of their solutions to the previous arc, Wano, which had Kaido and Lunarian, which is King.
Yeah.
So their solution was to beat them with Conqueror's Haki. Why are they not using the same solutions from Wano here? And why are they acting like they're struggling super duper hard when literally it's not like Conqueror's Haki is super duper draining from what we know.
That's
like,
the real point.
Yeah,
right?
that's the real
here.
problem. Like Luffy's was using it all the time in Wano, like all the time in Onigashima. Zoro's might be a little bit more limiting because, you know, he still knew about it, whatever. But Luffy at this point should have no excuse to not bust it out if he, especially with him saying like, "Hey, these guys' defenses, who do they think they are?" Kaido basically comparing their defense to Kaido. What was your solution to Kaido, Luffy? It was Conqueror's Haki. Like, so why is he acting like there's this? It's almost like a manufactured. It's almost like a manufacturer tension. Like almost like plot induced stupidity. Like,
and the big question here is like, why use the literal draining forms Gear 4 and Gear 5 and not try Conqueror's Haki? But...
Right, and not use Conqueror's Haki with them against an Admiral, someone that you just said chapter ago or 2 chapters ago was like someone powerful is coming. Like Like if anyone deserves a Conqueror's Haki coding, like, you know, attack, is going to be an Admiral. Does it not? Like, you know, so the fact that we're not getting any visualization, any cues that Luffy is using that, we don't have no reason to believe he's using it. It's almost like it's messing with the story right now in terms of writing.
I'm gonna assume it's like what Callie was saying about you know, the beginning where it was that callback to that page where Luffy is going to become stronger than Kizaru, Sendamaru, and Kuma. That next chapter is going to be Luffy beating this nigga's ass.
Like really.
Yeah, and he turns it on.
Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna assume. But we need to see that shit because I need to see Luffy go full like all out. Bro.
Yeah, like at this point, it's kind of getting ridiculous because like, and I understand, and I understood where Morris is coming from because it is kind of getting like because even when I first read it, I'm like yeah, Gear 4, cool, yeah, I get it, but like that Conqueror's Haki though, like where is it,
bro? I'm so confused sometimes because then I got Rio stuck in my head. I'm like, is that Conqueror's Haki? Right, because wasn't that that was the whole thing? Like that's what he came up with in Wano.
Ryu is advanced code of
right? It's advanced armament. Yeah,
it creates that invisibility because he's able to hit through Kaido, right? Like that was the whole thing.
It was more so like you can like infuse your attacks with it and push your Haki into the opponent.
Right? Yeah, without having to physically touch them. That was the whole.
No, that was Conqueror's.
No.
No, that's Rio.
Miss is right.
This shit, bro. See, this is exactly what I was talking about. Oh my god.
No, Miss it. That's Advanced Conquerors. Because remember when Luffy used Advanced Conquerors, Law was like, "You're not touching."
YHuss, but they even said it in the episode that he learned it from the old guy to be able to not even have to touch him. That's why Kaido's like, "Your arm's gonna melt off." Yeah. Your arm's gonna melt off because of it, because I'm gonna melt it with my molten whatever shit. But he pushed him down because of Rio, and it was a form of Haki. Like that was. But
if you remember in the beginning of the fight when it was Kid Law Luffy, Kid sees Luffy punch Kaido with Rio, and then he's like, "How are his attacks doing damage on Kaido?" And that's because he's the Rio like attacks inside your body.
Yeah.
And then when he used Advanced Conquerors, that's when Law says he's not even touching him, because Advanced Conquerors is when there's a gap, and that coating on your hand, the invisible coating, is the Conquerors. That's the difference.
But hold up, but in my opinion, I think that's right, because we see Luffy. The problem is we see Luffy's Udon training, and we see after he left Udon and he punched that tree, he didn't touch the tree. So it's
I thought he did, and then it blew up. like the rest of it, like on some Naruto.
No,
But he
Rasengan shit.
didn't touch it though. No,
he
like
didn't. No, he didn't touch. He didn't really touch the tree like
We're doing
that.
this shit, bro. What was it? 960 or some shit.
Yeah.
that's why I was confused, bro. Watch the episode tonight. Watch the new episode, because they go into it a little bit. YHuss.
And then, but here's my thing. So there's been countless videos made on YouTube about the difference between Rio and Conqueror's Haki because it gets a lot of people confused. I'm of the camp that believes that they both supposed to hit the opponent without necessarily touching them all the way. But I just think that with Conqueror's Haki, it's so prominent that it looks so obvious to other people that they're not touching. Versus like Rio, they could be touching, but it's like it is super bare, like barely, like you know what I mean. Like it doesn't have to be full fledged, bona fide impact all the way.
That's why I be confused sometimes, bro. Like, but
is
I mean, they do say that Rio is a form of hockey. It's just that that's what they call it in Wano, right? So
that's also another confusing thing about Rio. Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah. There's a lot to it.
Yeah, but I do think that this is a bigger discussion that needs to be had because we're getting to a point where it feels like Oda's not like all the way. It feels like Oda needs to start putting in more parameters around like what, like how these hockeys are distinguishable.
He's not about to do that shit. I think it's better for him and like because I think it gives him more liberty. So I think that's why I think he does it. So I don't think he's gonna change, even though it makes it harder for us.
It makes it incredibly harder because, like, you know, like how y'all just had that how y'all had the debate. Like, okay, when the problem with even that though is that when Luffy was using Haki, he was making contact sometimes with Kaido, right? And Kaido and Yamato, they both have Conqueror's Haki.
But we're hitting each other.
Yeah. Is an attack where you clearly see them smacking the person, and it's not like they're not touching; they're touching them clearly. And the Ragnarok attack that Kaido has, he's touching Luffy and all that, and those are all Conqueror's Haki coded attacks. Thanks with his slash. Well, you can maybe argue because of the angle of that, we can't tell if he touched him or not, but I'm pretty sure he touched him. And so, like, even the rule of thumb for Conqueror's Haki gets broken countless times. So it's getting too hard. You know what I mean, to distinguish, because as much as people clown power scaling, like, you know, you need that sometimes to understand the narrative better. You know what I mean? And it just makes it too ambiguous. Kind of reminds me at this point of like a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? Like Marvel movies, there's almost no rules established. So you get some weird stuff happening, like in the latest Doctor Strange, and it's just like all, you know, makes no sense, breaks loose. That's why you really need a structure sometimes. That's one of the reasons why I like anime personally, because they usually have good sound structure. Even One Piece is still better than like Marvel for that. But yeah, we need something. We need something a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Okay.
At least in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I definitely think this is a good discussion to have, and hopefully Oda can recognize the stress that he's putting his fans through, and possibly rectify, give some clarification on when Haki is and isn't being used. That would definitely help a lot.
So before we close out, Kelly, sorry. One thing, I keep looking at this picture of Luffy grabbing Kizaru. No Haki, nothing, bro. Like, this dude's grabbing light. That's crazy. Like, we saw him grab lightning before, right? And now he's grabbing light. Like, that's...
He's Haki, though. He's Haki, though.
Yeah, no, we also have to remember that when he's in Gear 5, Kaido specifically said that he was in a constant state of Haki, conquerors, a mixture of conquerors and ornament or whatever.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's hockeyed up. Especially, this isn't the first time Luffy grabbed a Logia. If y'all remember back in Punk Hazard, he grabbed Caesar, who was nothing but gas.
Yeah.
Ooh, good call.
Yeah, so I'm assuming, like, and this is my personal thing, this also has not been confirmed. Oda, please. You know, we got it. You know, some people argue about whether if there's like an invisible Haki, like a level 1 type Haki, or if it's just Oda not being lazy and not writing it or not showing the black arm or whatever, right? I do believe there's like a level 1 invisible hockey, you know, a base level of hockey that doesn't necessarily get drawn out. Because he does it several times post time skip too. I know pre time skip there was a stronger case of saying that, because pre time skip it was nothing but invisible hockey, and post time skip everyone's using black hardening. But he still writes that in though, like I said with Luffy grabbing Caesar and stuff like that. And here, so
has Luffy has Luffy been visibly shown to have black arms in Gear 5?
I don't know.
No.
Maybe versus
Bajrangan?
Yeah, that for sure.
Okay, no, Bajrangan, you're right.
Yeah.
But maybe versus Lucci too, I think.
Yeah. Lucci, you remember when they clashed with their fists?
Yeah, that specific.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, that was. Yeah,
you're right.
So Oda will do it, right? Like post time skip. I do believe there's like a base level, you know, hockey that, you know, doesn't need to be drawn. It's shown like the bare minimum hockey. You know what I mean? And then there's like black hardening, which is like level 2, which is what most characters are utilizing. And then there's like the steps above that, like Rio and, you know, the barrier stuff.
Yeah. I just realized also, because I was looking at the chapters and I was like, holy fuck, Luffy fought Lucci in chapter 1069. That's so long ago. That's 3 chapters ago. But
I know.
I was reminded that we didn't get an update on Zoro versus Lucci in this chapter because they obviously flew out of the lab.
You're right. Yeah. So he wasn't even in the vicinity when Kizaru came.
Shit.
We don't know what they're fighting somewhere right now.
Yeah, because when they're looking at the panels of Kizaru being in there, I'm like, yo, I'm surprised we don't see Sanji or Robin or anyone. So I just wonder where everyone is.
Yeah, that's a good catch. Yeah.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, no, I was about to say I think that's about it. Is there anything else before we get out of here?
I don't know.
This is pretty deep. We had a pretty deep talk today. Deep talk. There was a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss, a lot to break down.
Also, Admirals are around the same tier as Yonko, just saying.
I don't think that's a crazy take, but
yeah,
this is not the episode for it.
I respect it. I do respect it.
I threw that in there.
Yo, I respect it, bro. I rate it.
All right, guys, this is gonna be a try sit down. Let us know in the comments what you guys thought about the chapter, and if you guys think Admirals are on the same tier as Yonko. Let us know what you guys think. Big shout outs to everybody in Twitch chat today. We appreciate you guys hung out with us today. Big shout outs to everybody listening on YouTube, Spotify, Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, wherever you're listening to us. We appreciate you. Make sure you guys follow the Stress Sit Down on all channels, on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you can find social media. You can find the Stress Sit Down at Stress Sit Down. All right. We are on no break next week. So we will be back next week with another chapter review. Hopefully we can get a continuation of these crazy events that have been unfolding on Egghead, you know?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Till next time, guys, take it easy, be safe, be healthy. We appreciate you, and we will see y'all when we see y'all. Peace, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
Who gon' get down? We are. This that straw hat, sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that straw hat, sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Straw hat, sit down, crew in the building. We Corona to these other podcasts. We gon' put these people in their feelings when they hear this, and they know that they can't top this. We spit facts and we poppin' every time an episode is dropping. We see D3 in the corner, Mister, that's a real G with the green screen in the background. Got him looking like he in a real scene. We got Big Mod in the cut, always ready with rebuttals, but he bring the knowledge when we in the huddle, so you know the crew is never gonna fumble. And it's YHuss, last but not least. If you ask me, then Cali, mad the captain, make him rally around me. Every Sunday we gon' run deep, and we can't stop until we find out about that one piece. Who gon' get down? We are. This that straw hat, sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that straw hat, sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece